He observed there was a female victim that was lying on the ground in a pool of blood.
And the last thing I remember is saying, "I'm going to F you up." But he just started wailing on me.
He entered the Freebirds establishment and violently assaulted 2 people, resulting in the death of 1.
3 separate violent attacks in and around the downtown Austin area, all of them involving homeless suspects with prior criminal history.
A particular case comes to our attention, and we're all like, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Why didn't they do better? But we focus on that individual case, and we don't ask ourselves, like, how did the system allow this to happen? How did we not provide the right resources to prevent this from happening?
Tough questions to answer. To do so, Fox 7 Austin took a comprehensive look at each case. Police arrested 34-year-old Rashayla Morris in late January after they say she admitted to stabbing 5 people in downtown Austin. Morris had 4 previous convictions in Travis County since 2019. Theft, interfering with public duties, assault, and assault on a peace officer. Her longest jail sentence, 90 days. She served about half of that and was released just 9 days before the stabbing spree happened.
Victim at this point said she was standing outside on the sidewalk when the suspect came up and just struck her from behind.
In early January, police responded to a double stabbing at a Freebirds World Burrito on South Congress. One of the victims, 34-year-old Jonathan Aguilar, died from his injuries. The suspect in that case, 27-year-old Dylan Woodburn, also died after jumping off the roof of the Freebirds building. He previously faced several drug charges and a charge for terroristic threat out of Harris County. Woodburn was also charged with burglary in Travis County and released from jail just 3 weeks before the stabbing.
There was no words that were spoken before the attack took place. It was just a violent, unprovoked attack by the suspect.
39-year-old Timothy Mitchell was arrested and convicted after attacking a woman on the Congress Avenue Bridge in October. He also beat up a man who stopped to help the woman get away.
I had stitches on the side of my head, my lip, and contusions on my skull, and my ear was all swollen black and blue.
Mitchell has more than 25 prior convictions in Travis County since 2007. 15 for trespassing, 3 drug-related, 2 assaults, 1 attempted assault, 1 burglary, 1 indecent exposure, and 3 thefts. For each crime, he was released in less than a year's time. His latest assault occurred just 3 days after he was released from jail on a burglary charge. The October attack landed him a 200-day sentence. The Travis County Sheriff's Office says Mitchell served 85 days of that and was released with credit for manual labor. Prosecutors say Mitchell has always refused treatment, instead opting for jail time. That's something officers with the Homeless Outreach Street Team deal with often.
There's a lot of people that do decline, and it gets to a point where they don't have a choice, that they do become a danger to themselves.
So why can't the court system force treatment on mentally ill people who are constantly winding up back in jail?
The court system was never really set up to be a delivery of mental health services. The jail has become the largest mental health hospital or provider in Travis County, but it wasn't really intended to be.
The Capital Area Private Defender Service represents accused adult indigent clients in court. Deputy Director Bradley Hargis says even if someone is found not guilty by reason of insanity, it's possible they'll never get help from a mental health hospital. After all, even if the person meets the strict definition of insanity, their hospitalization cannot exceed the maximum punishment for their charges.
We have a real shortage of hospital beds, and depending on the person's need, the more violent the offense, the fewer hospitals treat that person, and so therefore the longer the wait can be.
As of October 2019, Texas Health and Human Services reported 412 people were waiting to be admitted to the non-maximum security section of the Forensic State Hospital. On average, they waited 57 days before a bed was available. The wait for a maximum security bed is even worse. There, 488 people were waiting an average of 308 days for a bed.
We have problems with not enough spaces and not enough resources in hospitalization, but building more hospitals alone isn't the answer.
Then what is the answer? Hargis says it's a continuum of care once they're released.
It really is that missing next step that leads to a lot of clients in chronic homelessness, interaction with the justice system, because they don't have a place to go that isn't the jail, isn't the emergency room, and isn't a brief stay at a hospital to be stabilized. It's really that long-term care that we're lacking in our society.
Although service providers agree a large number of homeless people need help beyond a place to stay,
we know that over 80% of individuals who are experiencing homelessness also have a co-occurring disorder, which is what we call to individuals with a mental illness and a substance use condition.
Hargis says it's important to remember most of them are harmless.
The vast majority of homeless and people suffering from mental health are not violent. That is the part that gets our attention in the headlines, but that is absolutely not the majority of people you see every day.